Plaintiff Monisha Seeley Evans says she struggled throughout her 20s, and she and her daughter ended up homeless for a period of time. Monisha claims she hired the defendant for personal training sessions, but she breached their agreement, so Monisha is suing. Defendant Denisha Bradford says after she married a man and had 2 children, she realized she was gay and liked women. Denisha claims she got a divorce and became a personal trainer.
Let me hear from you first. Give me some background.
So I'm 31 now. I just turned 31 in February. My 20s, I had struggled throughout my whole entire 20s, basically. I had my daughter at 22, and around 23, I ended up getting my own place to stay. I stayed there for about 2 years and was evicted after that because I lost my job and couldn't pay the rent. So from there, it just was kind of like a domino effect, and everything just kind of went downhill. I had to sleep in cars and stuff like that. When I first was evicted, I start hanging with some friends and try to do some stuff to get money fast because I had to sleep in hotels and everything else like that.
Why were you in such bad shape? I mean, having a baby at 22 is quite normal.
So I was working at the post office at the time, and I just basically was a single mom. My family helped as much as they could, but I pretty much was on my own. And it was a year when the post
you were
office...
laid off from the post office?
Yeah, I basically just was start being with some people.
I got your point. And let me get some background from you.
Okay, so I'm 31 as well. I've been training for the past 5 years. My background is different. I grew up always loving sports, but always not loving myself so much.
Why?
The first thing that I heard...
Why do you think that is?
Well, growing up as a kid, you looking in the mirror, you see yourself, and you're happy. So the first thing that I noticed about myself was my muscles. And I go to my mom, and I'm like, hey, look at my muscles. And she's like, girls don't have muscles. Okay. So from there, I've developed self-conscious,
For sure.
Because of the way society tells you that a woman is supposed to look in a way that a woman's supposed to appear. Mm-hmm. I grew up hiding my body. I grew up hating my body. People ask about my muscles. I'm like, no, I don't got no muscles. And I grew up questioning myself, am I even a girl? I experienced all of that. It wasn't until I had my kids. I have a 11-year-old daughter. I had her when I was 20 years old. I had my son 3 years later. I was 23. And I actually got married the same year to their father.
I was going to go right there.
Yeah.
And that is that many people, both men and women, men who are feminine, some of them,
right,
and women who have a little more masculinity than the average woman, they are stereotyped all the time as gay or lesbian.
Yes.
And that's not the fact at all. I know many men who are feminine and get more women than I ever had as a kid or prior to marriage. And so that
right,
has nothing to do with their sexuality or their desire for the opposite sex. That's been my observation.
Okay.
The stereotype that all men that look feminine or act feminine and all women that may have a little extra level of masculinity than the average woman has nothing to do with their sexual preference. So I'm glad you brought that out today, because that's exactly what society does all the time. Thank God society is growing now, and only the most ignorant people in society are discriminating. And unfortunately, we have a disproportionate amount of ignorant Black people in our community, even after we've been oppressed for so long. We got nerve enough to discriminate
against
each other. Another group of people. So that's one thing I think is ridiculous in our community. Thank God society is growing now, and only the most ignorant people in society are discriminating. And unfortunately, we have a disproportionate amount of ignorant Black people in our community, even after we've been oppressed for so long. We got nerve enough to discriminate
oppress each other.
Another group of people. So that's one thing I think is ridiculous in our community.
Plaintiff Monisha Seeley Evans hired the defendant for personal training sessions, but Monisha claims she breached their agreement, so she's suing.
Thank you for educating us, and now once again, we know some more.
I did want to elaborate because Although I grew up, I like boys. That's all I knew. That's all that's been in front of my face. I never got a chance to know myself, and I never got a chance to learn myself. I was married for 4 years until I realized that I did actually like women. Like, I did not have the space, the time, or the opportunity to learn myself. I was always forced on boys, and boys were always forced on me. So I started training after I had my kids, and then I developed a passion, and I'm really good at it, and it's what I love to do. It's what I live to do. And I change people's lives every day, as well as they've changed mine dramatically. Like, I'm a different person.
Help them live longer.
Yeah, and now I'm training full time.
How do you provide your service? What location? What do you do?
I'm located in a gym in Antioch, California. I did spend last year, in my garage. The year before, virtual due to COVID, and learning the virtual world is just different, navigating.
When you're doing something at someone else's gym, do you have to rent the space?
Yes,
or what do you
yes.
do?
I rent the space. I pay to rent the space, and yeah.
Is it like a specific space, or you can go around to your clients inside the weight room and the exercise
No,
room
it's a specific gym. It's the whole gym. The whole gym is like mine when I'm there.
Okay.
Me and that clients, me and
What
the
about
other
the
clients around
equipment?
me. All of the equipment is provided. It's there as well.
As part of the rent?
Yes, yes.
And there are other people that use that room
There are other people, members, people that come in, yes, as well.
at the same time as you?
Not so much. It's really a small private gym. I don't know if you ever, like a private 24/7 access gym, and I basically go in, I have my set schedule. The members, they usually move around me because
Do I look like I go to this gym, Mel?
No, you don't, but I can help you out with that, sir. Just don't sue
Now
me.
you're trying to be funny. You look like I go to the gym. You look like Atlas. Go ahead, ma'am. Why are you suing her?
I'm suing Donisha because we agreed on 8 sessions for the training, and it was supposed to be virtually because at the time I didn't have a car. We spoke about the deposit, which was like $100, and then I was supposed to pay the remaining fee, which was another $100 because the whole total was $200. And we agreed on dates to meet, and the time we were supposed to meet, the first day we're supposed to meet, which was, I believe, December 29th. I ended up having to get caught into work because the whole month of December, I was really trying to buy me a car because I was trying to get back. I was in an apprenticeship to become an electrician, and I had to stop because that was too far from my house. The car I had initially bought a lemon, all this other stuff. So I was really trying to get back in a car to be able to move around and do what I need to do. So I was like putting in extra hours. Right now, I'm a manager at McDonald's.
Okay, I was an assistant manager at McDonald's when I was in college, so.
Yeah, I'm not assistant yet.
I know a little bit about that. Well, I
Yeah.
started out in the section, grill.
Oh, yeah.
Working the grill.
I plan to
Became
work
grill
at-
manager. Then started doing inventory. Then
That's so the department is me and 3 other people, and we are all going to rotate, so we all learn.
several of the people I worked with went on to getting franchises after working in them and moving up the ladder and saving their money and having a relationship with the corporate office because you're a good manager, and they may give them a franchise with delayed loan, or you'll get a little deference to get help from McDonald's to open a franchise if you've been a loyal manager for years, or you move up the corporate ladder.
I did want to elaborate because although I grew up, I like boys, I never got a chance to know myself, and I never got a chance to learn myself. I was married for 4 years until I realized that I did actually like women. Like, I did not have the space, the time, or the opportunity to learn myself. I was always forced on boys, and boys were always forced on me.
Plaintiff Monisha Sealy Evans hired the defendant for personal training sessions, but Monisha claimed she breached their agreement, so she's suing.
McDonald's is just like any other corporation. You move up the ladder. Like at General Motors, you start on the line and you could become CEO. Starting on the line, you make $50,000 a year. CEO makes $50 million.
Right.
Same with McDonald's.
Yeah,
You
I
start,
know. I did some inventory.
Just giving you a little insight.
Yeah.
Because a lot of folks think that it's a dead-end job, and they are not.
They do. When I say it like I work at McDonald's, people like kind of like, I just work at McDonald's. Like, it's,
Till you become CEO.
yeah, even not a CEO. I enjoy my job. I enjoy the work. It's fast paced. You're always moving. It's not boring. You know, I enjoy working at McDonald's.
Whatever can, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Whatever
Yeah.
you can do that's honest and you take care of yourself should be applauded, particularly if it's a high possibility of advancement, which it is at fast food restaurants.
Right.
Absolutely is, if you're ambitious enough to either want your own or to move up the corporate ladder. Now, if all you want to do is come to work your 8 hours, fine, and don't complain about the job.
Right.
Keep it and come to work for 8 hours. But if you want to move up, then
I'm
you
trying
can
to be
move
on.
up.
I'm trying to be on that fast track
you go.
route. So,
Good to hear.
but so I was just putting in a lot of hours because I was trying to get a car. Again, like I said, my whole 20s was just like struggle. So, great. Fortunately for me, my 30s are looking way better. I got my own place. I've been there almost 2 years now. I got my car now. That goes back to the case. So I asked her for the refund because I needed the money to pay for my deposit, because when I got my check wasn't what I thought it was going to be, even from me putting in all the hours.
So your financial condition changed. That's
Right.
the reason you asked for a refund?
Yes.
What were you told then?
So I initially told Donisha a different reason, but I didn't feel like it was. I felt like I didn't even have to tell her a reason, but I did ask for the money back. I offered her to keep $25 of the $200 for her inconvenience, because we never met over Zoom.
Was anything scheduled that she
Yes.
had to cancel?
Yes, because I got called into work.
How much was that for?
She
Canceled the first session 13 minutes before.
How much?
That's $25.
$25.
But she didn't charge
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me. And that's the only session she had planned and
No,
and canceled?
then the following day, she I had gave her my number because we were communicating on Facebook, and I said, if anything ever happens, feel free to contact me. The next day, we had another session scheduled at 10 a.m. I'm on Zoom waiting for her, and at 10:01, she's texting me she just woke up.
Okay, and she...
And she never made it, no.
Okay, those are the only two.
And then the following day, again, about 20 minutes before, that was our third session.
$25.
That's when she asked me for the refund, because I was 15 minutes before our third session.
Finish now.
Yeah.
I was just
Go
trying to
ahead.
understand.
Yes, 3 sessions, sir.
How late it was and how long prior had you scheduled your time.
Thank you.
Which would cause you to miss some other
Thank
money.
you.
So let me hear from you what the 200 is about. You say it's because you wanted to cancel, and she told you what?
So we made the first day, which was supposed to be on December the 29th. That was like the first day. I got called into work, and I let her know that.
I've heard all that.
Right.
But I need to know about what's the $200 return for.
Because I asked for my money back. So that's why I was the first session.
Even the ones that you canceled at the last minute?
So she said, when I told her I called into work, she then told me that, okay, this time is fine. Next time you have to cancel 24 hours ahead of time, or you will have to forfeit one session. And so I said, okay, that's fine. We agreed on that. And then we scheduled, she was like, she asked her son's birthday party, and then the New Year's was around that time. So we agreed to meet, we agreed on some days in January. This was initially December 29th. So that was that.
You agreed on January.
We agreed to come back together to speak again, to reschedule.
Again.
Because this is all over.
What was the conclusion of your speaking?
That we were going to meet again on January.
And did you?
Yeah. So I.
January what?
9th
Approximately.
or 8th. It was
All
January
right.
8th, and then the 10th was the 2 days.
You met, and what happened? You got your services?
So on the 8th, I woke up literally 1 minute, and I texted her hey, just waking up. Are we still on for the meeting? She didn't respond.
All right. Do you have another instance
Facebook
where you
and she did not
canceled at the
text.
last minute?
No, I didn't cancel. I wasn't canceling this next
You're running
session.
late, ma'am. You can't run late with a person and take their time up anytime you want. Now, what's the last one? Did you miss? Did you miss another one?
We did. It was the only 2 times that we were always supposed to
Well, that's
schedule.
what I want to know. The second time that you missed.
That was the second time. I didn't miss it because I had
So
scheduled.
you didn't miss a third time?
The third time was
No,
the day
I
she...
didn't.
Okay, good enough. You say she did?
The third day is the day we had on the schedule. That's the day she called me, which she texted me
was not
20
the
What
minutes.
date was
day.
this? What
That
date
was the 8th. I mean the 10th.
That was not the third
Of
day.
what?
That was the 10th. That was the
second.
third day we had
And
on
your
the schedule.
refund that you're requesting includes those days?
Yes.
Plaintiff Monisha Sealy Evans hired the defendant for personal training sessions, but Monisha claims she breached their agreement, so she's suing.
Now, what's the other 125 for?
So she didn't charge me by the day. She charged me for 8 sessions, $200 period. Didn't go by the days. We agreed on to meet 2 times, right? It was in those 2
Ma'am,
times.
my question was, now I don't want to deal with the 3 days anymore.
On January
What is the
8th,
amount? What is the other amount
I text
for?
her. I woke up at 10:01. I said, "Hey, I'm just waking up. Are we still on for today?" She never responded.
Man, we went through that. I told
But
you
you-
I'm not.
I'm
That's
try-
it.
I'm
Y'all
sorry,
don't want to
sir.
listen to direction. I've
I
asked
apologize.
you several times to let me know, why do you want the other money back? Last time I'm asking you.
Okay. Because I asked her what she's going to meet. She never responded to the text message.
Your claim is dismissed. You're telling me the same. You don't prove what you have. Bye-bye.
I trained her against my better intuition. I do know that Monisha has been problematic. When I sat at her house,
You don't even know me.
when I
You
sat
don't
at
know
her
me
house,
personally.
she was
You don't-
arguing on the phone with one of her old friends. My sister happens to
My
be
friend
another
was
one of her
first
friends.
of all,
and she fell out with my
don't
sister.
get on here trying
So
to
again,
disregard me
against my
as a
better
person because you don't
judgment,
even know me. You bad
so they're
business.
talking to
You
me.
took my money for no reason. You got on here, got a free trip out here for nothing. You took my money. Like, that's no.